So come to a comfortable seat and start to just connect to your breath. And whatever that means to you, either you're sitting cross-legged, lotus, child's pose, anything that suits you. And just begin to slow down the breath, slow down the thoughts. Let's just revisit for a moment. So I don't know everybody personally on this camera, but I do know a lot of you from many times and many different walks of life. So we're celebrating July 4th together, freedom, independence, during a time which doesn't feel very free or independent to a lot of us. We've spent thus far the better part of a year at home, a lot of us. So, I just thought I would kind of allow us to find some freedom in our bodies today as we start to flow through this practice. So keep in mind, freedom is a state of mind. So let's go ahead and bring your hands to your heart center. Go ahead and start your music. I don't need to get up to do that, actually. And bring your hands to your heart center as you maybe set freedom as a state of mind, as your intention, as a thought, as a wish, as a mantra, and keep it with you during your practice this morning. And start to breathe in through the nose, slowly and completely filling up. And then empty out through the nose. And start to feel the effects that this breath, this prana has on our bodies. How we can take a breath and make it calm us down, or we can make a breath make us very hyper and crazy. So let's use it to keep us in a calm state. As we begin to practice and move, your breath might get a little more erratic. See if you can bring it back to what we're doing right now. And take your hands and place the thumbs at the third eye, shoulders down, connecting to the space between the two brows. Your vision, your intuition. And then bring your hands to the crown of your head, just pressing the palms together lightly over the crown of your head. As you inhale, stretch your arms all the way up in the air and spread your fingers, drop your shoulders down. So you can gaze up with your eyes more than your neck, drop your shoulders away from your ears, spread your fingers, maybe wiggle your fingers around a little bit, and just maybe move through your wrists in a couple of different locations, moving forward, back, side to side. And then bring your hands on top of your knees. So if you're sitting in any other place, if you'd like to just bring your legs in a cross position or back to that lotus. I have my left leg in front. If you care to share that, that's great. If not, that's fine. Bring your heart through as you sit a little bit in front of your sitting bones. So you're not directly on top or behind, but a little in front of. And then bring your chin to your chest and round your spine. And pull that belly into the spine like you got punched in the stomach, and shoulders drop away from the ears. Inhale back to center, lift your heart up. The music's going to get a little bit playful in the middle, so just play around with it. Roll back through the belly. It starts off nice and easy. Just like the movements in our yoga, we start off nice and easy, and then sometimes we get a little bit friendly, or as Tina says, nice and easy, but we never do anything nice and easy. And then chin to chest, start to make circles through your torso. Using your hands, bless you. Using your hands. I have a visitor. Bless you. And then reverse those directions. And then come back to the center and just lift yourselves up. Bring your hands now behind your back. Interlace your fingers, palms together, knuckles down. Lift your chest up, shoulders open, collarbone spread. Breathe in. And then lean back on your hands. You can uncross them if it's too uncomfortable. Shake out your legs and switch the cross of your legs. And then just return, release the hands so you can just move the flesh from side to side and come back into sitting on the other leg with the other leg in front. And then bring your hands back to your knees just to kind of give you a little lift. And again, sit in front of those sitting bones. And then take the arms all the way up overhead, inhaling. Right arm down, left arm up and over as you exhale. Relax the shoulders, gaze up at your left hand. Inhale, rise up, arms up, left arm comes down, lift up and over. Sometimes early in the morning, or if it's your first those movements. I know some of you said you took walks, come back up. But sometimes we're a little stiff. Left hand outside right leg, right hand behind you. Stay here for a few moments. Tent the fingers, lift your chest up. And twist over to your right side. Drop the shoulders down away from the ears. Reach the right arm up and over to the left side. Keep that right hip on the floor. And then cross right arm over left arm. Lift your chest all the way up. Pull your belly into your spine. God bless you. Come back up to center. Inhale. And just switch to the other side. Left hand behind you. Lengthen your spine. Exhale. Twist a little bit deeper. Just use the length of your spine and your breath as opposed to anything else to give you the movements. Left arm up and over to the right side. Shoulders down away from ears. Yes. They're cutting the lawn outside. It's like makes everybody sneeze. Arms come back to center. Chin to chest, roll back over. Sounds like you got some pepper in your nose. Come all the way back up. Once again, interlace your fingers, but change the grip of your fingers. Move it over one. Knuckles down to the earth. Lift your heart up. And as you exhale, lean back, release your legs, shake it out. Bring your feet onto the floor. Separate them maybe about hips width a little wider, maybe even max width apart. And just roll side to side a little bit. Just rocking and rolling onto that outer hip. Getting some motion there, especially good if you were walking this morning. And then let's just come back to center and cross either leg in front, come over to your hands and knees. Shake your legs out, stretch them out behind you, get rid of any tension. And come back to the center, hands under shoulders, fingers are spread, pressing your weight evenly into the balls of the fingertips, the heel of the hand and the ball of the hand. And then top of the foot and shin down. Dip your belly, arch your back, broaden your collarbones. And as you exhale, bring your chin to your chest. Now when you get into this position, let your head come down to the floor, crown of the head. Pull the belly up to the spine. Bring the tailbone down towards your hamstrings, the sitting bones towards your hamstrings. And really press the earth away with the heel of the hands. Then inhale, dip your belly, arch your back, and broaden your collarbones. As I like to tuck my toes, that's up to you. Good, and then come back to center, just to a neutral position. Let's just get some shoulder action in here. Stretch your right arm up, gaze up at it, spread your fingers, scoot it underneath your left arm, back of the head towards the floor, left arm comes forward. Keep your hips lifted off the floor, reaching right hand to the side, left hand in front of you. Keep stretching, so sometimes my head may come up so you can hear me better, but you keep your head down. If you like any other variations here, if you like to bind, if you like to lift your leg and bind, whatever you're working on playing with today, make it yours. Find a little bit more space opening up. And then release the arm if it's bound. Take the left arm out in front of you. Bring the right arm to meet it. Bring your chin and chest towards the floor. So you're getting a little bit more stretch into the front of your shoulders and chest. Inhale and exhale. Keep your hips lifted a little higher. Not quite a child's pose. And then round your spine to come up and draw the hands back underneath your shoulders, arching your back or rounding your back like a big cat stretch. And then come to neutral. Once again, left arm comes up this time. Look up at it. See if you can spread your fingers out. And then glide it underneath your right arm, back of the head towards the floor. Right arm maybe reaches in front of you. Left arm reaches to the side. And if it feels okay and you want to bind or you want to take any other variations with your legs, go ahead. You've got a couple of breaths there and see if you can work on the openings that we find in our bodies. Take another big breath. And as we release this breath, right hand comes in front. Left arm meets it back in front. We're back in that puppy dog pose, chin to floor, chest to floor. Dip the belly, arch the back. And then draw the hands in as you round your spine, coming back into a cat pose. Inhale to neutral. Tuck your toes, sit back in a child's pose with your toes tucked, and just hang out here for a few breaths just to stretch out the bottoms of our feet. Breathe in, breathe out. Go as deep as you want or as shallow as you need. Spread your fingers broad, let your chest rest in between the two arms. One more breath. Good, rise back up to hands and knees, keep the toes tucked and find a soft, easy downward facing dog. Easy meaning knees are bent, feet are a little bit wider, let your head hang down. Shoulders pull back and down towards your tailbone, belly towards your thighs. Inhaling and exhaling. Take the next breath to bring your hands back towards your feet, so you'll be at the back of your mat. Hands in between the feet, a little bit wider than hips width apart here. Send your weight a little forward and back in the feet, a little bit side to side. Just see where you find your connection to the earth, how strong we stay connected. And then let's take our arms and cross opposite elbows and hang. And as you hang, imagine pulling your arms apart. So we reach around to that upper back and stretch. Keep the crown of your head facing downward. Getting the maximum length in our bodies right now. If you have a straighter leg, great, go for it. If you feel like you still need to keep it bent, go for that. And switch the cross of the arms. So just move one of the arms around. It feels a little funny if you never do it. And then just come back to center and let the arms dangle. Chin to chest, hang your head. Now start to roll up one vertebrae at a time. Take your time as you roll through your spine. Shoulders roll back and around. This is usually a nice indication of how we're feeling this morning. Take your hands onto your back, fingers in either direction. Lift your chest up, pull your elbows back. Heart lifts up. Maybe your eye gaze goes up, maybe you just keep eye gaze centered. And see if you can lift up over your hands. And then come back to neutral. Shoulders on top of hips, feet are a little bit wider than hips. Take your arms out to the side and up over your head. Take a hold of your left wrist with your right hand and lift up and over to the right side. And don't just collapse into it. So lift out of your right side body. Lift up and over like there's a ball underneath you. And pull that left arm with the right arm. Keep your head eye gaze straight or up towards your hands, but you don't need to lift the neck up. Inhale to center, do the other side, up and over. So keep finding a little bit of length in that right side, a little compression in the left side. Inhale back to center, open the arms, lift your heart up, bend your elbows, release the arms behind your back, interlace fingers one more time, knuckles down, chest up, and forward fold over your legs, let your body go, let your head hang down. Shake out your head yes and no. And then release your hands to the floor right in front of your feet. Climb to your fingertips and walk yourself out into a downward facing dog, hips up in the air. Now you can shorten your step between your 2 feet if you'd like. And then walk your dog from side to side and even feel the press into the opposite hand and foot. And stay nice and strong through the arms. So don't let those elbows collapse in, shoulders open up, and it's like we're spreading our fingers towards the edge of the mat. We're spreading our toes towards the edge of the mat. So feel that energy. And then hold your dog, but lift your knees up. Pull your pelvic muscles up. Draw your chin towards your chest and your belly towards your spine, your ribs towards your hips. Keep that action as you come into a high plank and just measure out your dog and plank. So your shoulders are over your wrists, your eye gaze goes forward, your knees are lifted, your belly is lifted, so there's no collapsing. Exhale, downward facing dog, hips up, heels down. Inhale up and over to your high plank. Good, look forward towards the front of your mat. Keep your eye gaze steady, your drishti. Hips up in the air, downward facing dog. One more time. High on your toes, come to your high plank pose. Look forward between your arms. Look towards the edge of your mat or towards the edge of your floor. And then lower yourself onto your belly slowly and controlled. All the way down. Release your toes, bring your hands by your ribs, elbows squeezed by your side, crown of the head forward. See if you can just shift a little side to side and not squeeze your glutes. So I want you to push your palms down for a moment. Squeeze the elbows in by your side. Keep your eye gaze down, so you don't want to crank up your neck. I'm only cranking up my neck so you can hear me better. Good, I can still see you, it's good. And then keep reaching toes and forehead forward. Now lift your arms up and see that you didn't have to adjust your spine any, so you know that you're not using just your arms to do this. And then squeeze the elbows back by your side. Lift your chest a little higher. Push your pubic bone down to the floor. And as you empty this breath, we come all the way down to the floor. Push your seat to your heels, tuck your toes underneath you. Little child's pose here. And then find your way back to your downward facing dog, hips up in the air. So my feet are now about hips width apart, chest towards the thighs. Lift high up on your tippy toes. Bend your knees, turbo dog. Get your shins parallel to the floor, chest towards your thighs. Push the weight through the heel of the hands and lift your tush a little bit out towards the back of your mat. Keeping the knees bent, we're going to come into a hovering tabletop. So push the floor away with your hands. Keep strength in the leg, in the core. And then lower just the left knee down and lift the right leg up in the air. Flex the foot, keep your hips square, take the left arm and reach it out in front of you. So make sure that you're not dropping your belly and arching your back, keep the hips squared. And then go ahead and bend the right knee and grab for the right foot with the left hand, and if that doesn't happen, just reach towards it. Push the foot into the hand, the chest opens, pressing, 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 take another big breath. As you exhale, gently release. Don't boomerang it, just let it go. Bring the left hand down, right knee to your chest, round and curl, and step your right foot in between your two hands coming forward. So check out the alignment first, make sure the knee is over the ankle, and make sure that you're not sitting directly on top of your left kneecap, your patella, but you're just ahead of it or superior to it. Climb to your fingertips. If you need blocks, put them under your hands. Pull your shoulders back and down. This is freedom for our hips. This is known as the world's greatest stretch, and I don't know, I agree with it. Hands on your thighs, lift your chest up, push your right hip forward, and just it's as if you're pushing everything towards that front knee, and then the back foot, you're kind of stable with the top of the foot and shin down. Good, let's bring the arms overhead on an inhale, take the left wrist and bring it over to the right side, really getting some release in that hip, shoulders down. If you're home a lot and you're sitting a lot or you're in your car a lot, this is gonna feel really good to you. Come back to center, inhale, hands down, and now this might not be so happy, but straighten your front leg and fold over. Find your hamstrings, so just go where you can. You can lift your toes up or keep them down, it's your choice. Pull the right hip back and let your head rest towards your shin. Try not to avoid the toes, so if you're kind of rolling out on that right foot, see if you can just draw it back to neutral, and maybe you have to push that right big toe down. One more breath. Inhale, rebend that front knee, tuck the left toes underneath you. Let's shoot that right leg in the air for three-legged downward facing dog. Right leg all the way up, shake it out. Keeping the knee bent, we're gonna turn our hips square, bring the knee to the chest in dog, and then release the foot to the floor, down dog. Inhale onto your toes, bend your knees, turbo dog, and then come into that hovering tabletop, turbo tabletop. Hold there, push the earth away with your heel of your hands. Lower the right knee, left leg goes behind you. Right arm reaches out in front of you, bicep by the ear. And then bend the left knee and see if you can reach around for that left foot, shin or ankle, wherever you can. Pushing the foot into your hand will give you a little bit more of that back bend, a little more release in the hip, or you might feel it more in your quad if you draw the heel closer to your buttocks. One more breath. Good, release the arm and leg. Bring the left knee to the chest, round and curl, and step the left leg through between your two hands. Adjust it, knee over the ankle. Make sure you're not right on top of your knee, your right knee patella. Come forward, just shift the shoulders away from the ears. Get that world's greatest stretch onto your right side. And if that feels good, stay there. If you want to take your arms up and just press against your left thigh. So it's like I'm taking my skin from my hip towards my knee and I'm pushing it forward. At the same time, I'm releasing this right side. You can stay there, bring your arms overhead, take a hold of that right arm, and stretch over to the left side, and really release that right hip. Relax your shoulders. Breathe in, breathe out. Return back to center, inhale. Arms down, exhale, left leg straightens and fold over it. Pull that left hip back. Fold your head over your shins. So again, I have a tight hamstring on my left side. I've torn it a couple times. My inclination is to roll to the pinky side of my foot to avoid that stretch, but try to face it a little bit more head on without force. And And if you have to bend your knees, you bend your knees. Freedom in the hamstrings is a pretty hard deal, so hang in there. On the next release of your breath, bend your left knee again. Tuck your right toes underneath you. Plant your palms down. Lift the right knee up and step that left leg in the air, three-legged dog. And just shake it out and navigate what's going on in that hip, the knee, the ankle even. Then turn your hips squared, left knee to chest in a downward dog. We're staying here. And then we release the foot. We're in downward facing dog. Separate your feet. Come high on your toes. Come forward to your high plank. Look towards the front of your mat. Either lower to your knees or go halfway down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Roll over your toes or you're on your belly, upward facing dog or cobra. Downward facing dog, hips up. Breathe into the sides of your body. Find space. High up on your tippy toes, bend your knees. Make your way to the top of your mat. Doesn't matter how you get there. It's the journey that counts. Come to your fingertips, shins, or blocks. Lengthen your spine, crown of the head forward. Exhale, fold over your legs, head towards the floor, pushing down through the feet, chin to chest, hang your head down. And let's take a ragdoll to stand all the way up to standing. Roll through your spine, shoulders roll back and around a couple times. Heel toe your feet together. Bring your arms overhead. Interlace your fingers, release thumb and forefinger, lift out of your waistline, find some length here, find some grounding through the legs, root to rise. Lift up and over to the right side as you tilt. So again, lifting out of that right side body, lengthening the left side, but you really don't want to collapse that right side and keep pulling the left arm with the right. Keep your chin and throat visible. Inhale to center, up and over to the other side. Find a little bit more length with each release of breath, right? No force. Back to center, lift your heart. Open your heart, drop your head back if it feels okay for you. Keep the biceps by the ears, and as you exhale, soften the knees and bring it back upright, and then just take a little U-turn to bring it forward and down to the floor, hands on floor, shins, or blocks. Halfway lift, inhale. Melt and fold, exhale, let it go. Halfway lift, inhale, broaden your collarbones. Step, step to a high plank. Lower through chaturanga or skip it, go to your down dog, or at push-ups, you choose. Hips up in the air, downward facing dog. Breathe in, breathe out. Feet together, right leg in the air. Look between your hands and step the right leg through. Feel free to lower the left knee to the floor or keep it as is, but make sure it's strong and active. Take your right arm, sweep it back and open. Let's do a nice twist here. Draw that right hip towards midline. Breathe in and breathe out. So we're going to stay here for a few breaths. Just check your organization. Shoulders over each other. Hips draw towards midline. Take 2 more breaths. As you empty the last breath, right hand comes down, right leg straightens. Maybe your hands are on blocks. Maybe your knee is soft. Maybe you shortened your stance. Find length in your spine. Inhale. And as you exhale, fold over your right shin. Turn your left foot on its side. Walk your right hand on the inside and bend your right knee. You can use a block underneath your hand if you need to bring the floor to you, or you just like to have that lift. And then take the left arm up and twist open to the left side. So my left pinky toe is grounded to the earth. My right hip is drawing towards the midline, and my knee and my tricep are kind of playing with each other. A little bit of a tug of war, pushing and pulling at the same time. Take 2 more breaths here. Find a little satisfaction in this twist. And 1 more breath. As you exhale, look down at your right foot. Release both hands to the inside of that right foot. If you have a block, you can slip it off to the side for a moment. Lower your left knee back down to the floor. Hug the right knee to your tricep. Plant your palms or your forearms on the floor or on a block. And just settle in here for a moment. Squeeze that knee towards your shoulder. Try to keep your big toe down on the floor. Might not be the place you really want to be right now. 1 more breath. All right, hands on the floor. Separate your hands. Left toes tuck under. Step back right to your plank. downward dog, hips up in the air. Feet come together. Left leg in the air. Step that left leg through. Help it out if you need to. Hands on the inside and outside. Check out that back leg. Lift the kneecap up. Now spin open to your left side and twist. Shoulders stack. Hips draw towards midline. Don't collapse your body on your thigh. Lift it up and rotate. First find the length in your spine. Then you can make the rotation deep. Inhaling and exhaling. Eye gaze is up or down at your toes, depending on your neck, how you feel today. Everything is nice and strong. Keep the breath. Good. Let's release this next breath and straighten the left leg and fold over it. Make the adjustments you need. You might need to shorten your stance. You might need to bend your knee, both. Maybe hands on blocks. Fold over. Don't force it. It's never a force. One more breath. Good. Rebend that front knee. Left hand on the inside. Right foot turns. If you want to use a block, you use a block under that left hand. Right arm comes up to the sky. So we have a little more freedom in the hips here. Right? We're not bound by that leg in front of us. Spread the fingers up, shoulders down, tailbone tucks. Breathe in and empty out. One more big breath here. As you exhale, right hand comes inside. Spin the right foot around, lower the right knee to the floor, and keep hugging the knee to the shoulder or the tricep. And if that feels good, stay there. And if you have a little more space, maybe you want to go to your forearms. Just don't compromise your form to get a little what you think is a little deeper, right? So if it starts that you have to kind of collapse everything, it's just not worth it. It's not in the right place. So hug the elbow towards the thigh, or towards the shoulder. Breathe in, breathe out. Take another breath. Hands to the floor. Separate them on either side of the foot. Tuck the right toes under, lift the right knee up and step back to a high plank. Hold the plank, not your breath. And push into your downward facing dog. Chest towards your thighs. Come high up on your tippy toes, bend your knees and look in front of the mat. Make your way to the front of your mat. Doesn't matter how you get there. Halfway lift and forward fold. Rise to stand all the way up. Bring the hands up overhead. Bring them right back down through your heart center to the floor. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Left leg back, stay there. Right arm opens up, twist. Right hand down, right leg straightens, fold over your right leg. Right knee bends, right hand on the inside, left foot turns on its side. We're going to pick up from here into Warrior Two. So look down at first, and then rise up Warrior Two, facing the left side of your mat. And then let's just straighten the leg and rebend it. Point the knee in line with your hip, over your ankle, in line with your second, third toes. Spin your outer hips outward, inner thighs draw inward. So it's like you're pulling your heels towards each other. And then your arms reach in two directions. Ribs tuck underneath you. Breathe in, breathe out. So don't make the work about going into your front knee. Make it about releasing that back hip a little bit. Another big breath. Flip your palms. Reach to the front of your mat. And then bring your left arm down and your right arm up. Reverse your warrior. Tuck your left hip under. So imagine you're pushing your left hip towards your right knee a little bit. So you get a little bit more of that side bend in there. Good, hang in there for another breath. As you exhale, vinyasa inside of your right leg, or just windmill inside of your right leg. Lower your left knee. Come down to the floor. If you take a forearm or an arm balance here, I encourage you to do so. You can take your arm underneath your leg and bring your hands closer, ribs, elbows underneath your ribs, and you can lift up into your arm balance or any other variations that you're working on today. And if you're not working on anything, you're working on opening your hips. One more breath. So if you did an arm balance, come on back to your hands, forearms down to the floor actually. Let's tuck the left toes underneath us and step the right foot back into your your low plank, your forearm plank. And then shift your shoulders a little bit over your wrists, or elbows. Come a little bit closer to your hands. Pull your heart through. Separate your hands on the floor. Push off your toes and lower your hips to the floor so you're resting right above your pubic bone, right below your hip bones. Sphinx pose, shoulders down, heart pulls forward. And then let your chin drop towards your chest. Look over your right shoulder. And look over your left shoulder. And then come back to center. Straighten the arms if it feels okay for you. Heart lifts. And then push back to your child's pose. Work it out, walk it out, do what you got to do. Resting your arms out in front of you. Let your hips sink back to your heels. If you like to tuck your toes here again, that's fine. Inhale onto your fingertips. Walk to your right side. Left hand on top of right. Inhale, rise up. Walk over to your left side. Right hand on top of left. Settle in, let go. Inhale, rise up, arms out. Exhale, melt on top of your thighs or in between your thighs. One more breath. Rise up to your hands and knees on the next breath. Toes tucked, downward facing dog, hips up. Left leg in the air. Look between your hands and step it through. Right hand moves in, left arm opens up, we twist. Open that hip, open that chest. Exhale, left hand down, left leg straight. Fold over it. Listen to your body, where it's taking you. Left knee bends, left arm inside, right arm comes up. We turn the right foot on its side. We stay as we look down at our left toes and rise into warrior two as you exhale. Straighten out of your front leg and rebend. So check the arches of your feet. Are you rolling onto that pinky toe? Can you press the left big toe down, the right pinky toe down? Pull your shoulders back, reach back with your right arm, move forward with your left arm. Again, upper thighs rotate out while the inner heels try to pull towards each other. Inhale and exhale. Settle into it by releasing that right hip, not so much by going into your left knee. Breathe in, breathe out. Good, flip your palms. Reach forward. Right arm down, left arm up. And now pull your right hip, bend your front knee more. Pull your right hip towards your left knee. Good, reach up and over. One more breath. As we exhale, we windmill inside of our left foot. Turn your hips squared, lower your right knee down to the floor. Come down if you can to your forearms. If not, stay where you are. If you're taking the arm balance, once again, that arm comes underneath the leg, elbows bend, and you kind of hook your arms underneath your hips, and then you float off the floor, or you don't, and that's okay too. So just stay down into this lizard pose, releasing the hips, getting freedom in our hips. Try not to white knuckle it with your hands, right? Try to let go of your fingers, play the piano a little bit, just let them go. And then let's tuck our toes underneath, and if you can come down to the forearms, let's get there into a forearm plank. This time, let's make some circles around. Just getting some warmth into the shoulders and reverse the circles. And then hold it to the center, open up your arms. Push your hips forward and lower down to the floor, Sphinx pose. Now, while we're in this Sphinx pose, if anybody chooses to go into any forearm balances, lifting your hips back up, bringing your feet closer, I encourage you to try that or just stay in Sphinx. Breathe. And if you need a wall move, nobody's looking, it's all good. But we'll stay in Sphinx pose for a moment. And if you want to extend the arms, chop your chin to your chest, let it go. We have somebody trying it here. And as you exhale, if you're up in the air, come on back down. And let's find our way back to child's pose. This time bringing the arms by our sides. Palms face up, shoulders drape open over your thighs. Let your head come down. So build into your practice peace and power at any given time, with any given pose. There's always peace and power within. Rise to sit up on your heels. Stretch your arms over your head with an inhale. Let's take a twist over the right side. Right hand behind you, fingers tented. Lift your chest up and twist over your right shoulder. Look over your right shoulder, left arm drops down, left shoulder drops down. Right arm comes up, lean up and over. Similar to what we did earlier, bring the right arm across, lift your chest, and this time let's rise up onto our shins and double wrap our arms. Lift your heart up. Exhale, come back down. Release the arms, bring them up. Twist over your left leg, right hand outside, left hand behind you, lift your chest up. Twist. Look over your right shoulder, drop it down. Take your left arm up and lean over to the right side. Good, breathe. Good, come back to center, cross that arm over. Lift up onto your shins. Lost you for a second. And exhale, come on back down. Release the arms and take the arms up overhead. Exhale, there you are. Hands on the floor underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes, arch your back. Come back to neutral and let's just do some dancing lions here. Just releasing that spine a little bit more. And then reverse it. Just let your body kind of speak to you. And then come back to your downward facing dog. Everybody hips up in the air. Bring your feet together, touching, back of the mat. Lift the right leg in the air, stretch it up. Right leg steps through, left arm comes in, right arm opens up, we twist. As you empty the breath, we straighten the front leg, both hands down. Inhale, rebend right knee, left foot turns on its side, tuck your tailbone underneath you, exhale. Inhale, rise up to warrior two, exhale, settle in. Inhale, flip palms, reach forward, left arm down, right arm up. Now straighten the right leg, reverse your triangle. Come up to standing and make the adjustments on your back foot should you need to. And move your hips back and your torso forward. Right arm down, left arm up. And then stacking shoulders, maybe your eye gaze goes to your right hand. Make sure you're not on your knee, you can be on your thigh, on your shin with your big toe grip or a block. But we don't want to put pressure into the knee. One more. Good. Inhale, rise up, left arm down, right arm up. Rebend the right knee as we come back inside of the right foot. Hold it here. Lizard lunge. So right now my left knee is still off the floor. I'm going to step back and move onto my right side plank, or my knee is going to come down. Stacking feet, lifting hips, left arm up and over. Breathe in, breathe out. One more breath. Good, release your arms, pull your hips up in the air, downward dog. Step your feet a little closer, take the right arm to the left outer foot, shin or ankle, look under your left arm. Breathe in, breathe out. Good, release your hands. Step back, downward dog. Let's vinyasa, come forward to high plank. Lower chaturanga. Upward dog. Downward dog, hips up in the air. Chest towards your thighs. Left leg in the air. Left leg steps through. Right arm moves in, open, we twist. Exhale, left leg straight, fold over it. Rebend left knee, right foot turns, right arm comes up, tailbone tucks. Look down and rise up, inhale. Exhale, settle in warrior two. Inhale, flip palms, reverse it. Move that right hip to the left side. Good, now straighten up that left leg. Oops, stay back there. And then come back up to center and adjust your back foot if you need to. Move your hips back, torso forward. Left arm down, right arm up. Triangle pose, inhale. And exhale. Big breath, find that bottom of your body, lifting up. Reverse it once again. Rebend the knee and come back into the inside of your left leg. Hips and shoulders squared. Step back to a high plank and spin on your left side for your side plank. Vashisthasana. Any variations that you take. Tree pose, bound, feet down, feet up, whatever you got. Good, one more breath. Hands down, hips up, downward dog, step forward. Take your left hand to your right foot, shin or ankle, look under the right arm, nice twist. Good, hands to the floor. Step back to your traditional downward dog, right dimensions here. Come forward to high plank. Vinyasa, up and downward facing dogs. Hips in the air. Soften the knees. Walk your hands to your feet. Coming back into a forward fold, Uttanasana. Hang your head, shake it out, yes and no. Good, take your arms behind your back, interlace your fingers, palms together. Bend your knees, sit your weight between your heels. Bring your arms behind you, lift your belly off your thighs, your chest is open. Breathe, crown of the head reaches forward. Now keep the legs as they are, release the arms, and reach them in front of you, really like a tug of war here. So sit your weight back, palms reach forward, drive through your feet and press up to standing all the way, arch back. Bring your hands to prayer, bring your feet together. So settle in for a minute. Remember, freedom is a state of mind. There's your mantra. Open up your eyes and lift your right leg off the floor. Open your right knee out to the side, flex the foot. Grab a hold of the foot, shin or ankle, and place the foot on the inside of that left thigh. And connect it like they're suctioned together. So the left leg and the right leg are as active as each other. Breathe in, pressing down through that left leg, finding a little length in that hip. One more breath. Any variations you take with your arms are always welcome. Today I chose to stay in prayer. Right knee comes forward, just release it. Kick it behind you, dip your belly, arch your back. Hands in prayer, out in front or by your sides. Breathe. Inhale and exhale. Dip your belly, arch your back. Take a nice swan dive. As you inhale, come back, bring your knees together, right heel behind you, hands in prayer. Take your right arm and grab the inside of your right foot. Left arm up. You can hook your fingers together. You can stay right here and just kick the heel into the buttocks, or you can begin to tilt your torso and extend your hip, knee, and your ankle. Reach out in front of you, dancer's pose, or upward feet, or standing bow, bow pulling. One more breath. And release the knees, release the hands, release the feet. Separate your feet hips width apart and fold over. Sway a little side to side, get a little freedom in that back. How are we all doing out there? Chin to chest. Ragdoll to stand. Heel toe your feet to touch. Bring your hands in prayer. Close your eyes for a moment. Breathe. Finding the peace and the power in every pose. Open your eyes. Good. Lift your left leg up. Open it out to the side. Ooh, my balance is off. And grab a hold of the foot, shin or ankle, and place it above your knee or below your knee, but not on your knee. And then press evenly inner thigh and foot together. Press down through the right foot, really strong. Power into that leg. Any variations with your hands, you're welcome. And then come back to center slowly, letting go. Kick the leg behind you, flying warrior 3, variations. Hands in prayer, arms out by your ears, by your side, dip your belly, arch your back. Take a nice swan dive here. Good. Now let's bring that left knee by the right knee, hands in prayer once again. Hold there for a moment. And then take your left hand to the inside of your left knee. Right arm up in the air. Lift out of your body, out of your waistline. Begin to tilt forward if you choose to go into that. Trying to keep your hips squared. keeping your knee behind your hip. Your right leg, your standing leg, is powerful, strong, motivated. Breathe. And then slowly bring it back. Hands down, legs down. Separate your feet and forward fold over your legs. Sway a little side to side. Come back to your center. Wrap your peace fingers around your big toes. Lengthen your spine. Inhale. Exhale, elbows out to the side. Head down to the floor. Relax your shoulders down from your ears. Halfway lift, inhale. Release your hands from your feet. Bring your hands to your hips. And rise up to stand. Heel toe your feet together. Bring your arms up overhead. Inhale. Exhale, fold your body in half. Halfway lift, inhale, walk out to a high plank. So you might have to step back with your feet and walk forward with your hands. Lower through chaturanga. Rise up, upward dog. Downward facing dog, hips up in the air. Breathe, chest to thighs. Bring your feet to touch and bring the right leg in the air. Open the right hip over the left hip. Bend that knee, so now that our hips are nice and open, look over your left side, and if you want to flip your dog, here's a good time to take it over. Whatever variations you take in this pose are welcome. Release right hand down, right leg up. Right knee to your chest. Shoot that right leg underneath the left arm and open up into your wild thing. Any variation is welcome. Left hand down. Left knee to chest, kick it up high in the sky, three-legged dog. Right knee to right wrist, pigeon pose. Set it up. If you're using a block, it's nice to sit it under your sitting bones on the right side. Flex your right foot. Good. Hands on either side of that foot. Remember, you don't want to just be on that right hip and release this left side. So you want to be square, so that's why sometimes a block or a towel or a pillow will help you. Rise up nice and tall. Look at your back foot. Tuck the toes under. Lift the knee up. And bring it a little bit more midline. And then release it. Make sure you're not sickling your toes. Good. Now start to bring yourself a little bit forward. Stop at the first